So welcome back. Now, it's the era of social media. And while we have a lot to be thankful for, there is an attending danger and evil. Children these days seem to know how to navigate their ways on the internet even better than adults. I know my kids, they know how to use the phones and stuff. The curiosity that is in their nature is also a factor to be considered. This insatiable thirst for hunger makes them even more vulnerable to the many dangers that are lurking around the activity of internet surfing. Now, Praise Fowowe is a child sexuality educator, a family life coach, and a relationship expert who has over a decade's experience. And he's here today to tell us some of the ways to keep our children safe on social media and to ensure that they do not forage into adult territories, if you know what I'm talking about. So thank you for joining us this morning.
Yeah, your mate's nice, man.
So you've been in this area for many years, over a decade. And people come to you a lot for advice about what they should do with their kids. But let's start from the beginning. They said, children born in the last 5 to 10 years are part of what you will refer to as the digital generation. So it means we can't escape them using devices, right? And that's the truth. But it seems like there are some parents who are so scared of letting their children use devices that they don't even let them use it at all. Would you advise?
Well, you see, when people are afraid, usually I say it's because, number one, maybe it could be out of ignorance, because when you have the truth about a particular issue, right, you go to sleep because you know exactly what to do, right? So if you say your children shouldn't use a particular device, then what happens when they go to school, when they go for lessons, when they meet their friends, when they go for holiday, what happens, right? So when parents, and I'm using this word carefully, fool themselves thinking that my child doesn't know this, right, I can tell you for free that your child knows a lot. So there is nothing to be worried about. I think the problem is that a lot of parents are not interested in the technology that drives a particular thing their children are interested in. So they depend on hearsay, and we do a lot of hearsays in Nigeria where someone sends a broadcast, that the broadcast is unfounded, the person has not researched it, there's no data to back it up, and, it's attributed to the demons, and, so people become petrified unnecessarily.
Maybe the YouTube channel is of the devil, so don't let your kids go there.
So people become...
Don't let your kids browse on the internet and all of that. Okay, so let's get to it. Let's talk about parents that also, they're gradually allowing their kids because maybe the education is relevant to their education. So they go to school and they have the computer lab and they're already learning how to use the computer and connect to the internet. So how do you ensure that you keep your kids safe? Because that's one of the things, that's the biggest challenge for parents out there. They're thinking, look, okay, fine, my kids are now using the internet, but how do I actually keep them safe?
Okay, the bigger issue is the fact that a lot of parents don't actually know what they should know. Right, so the best time to start talking to your child is not when your child is already on the internet, right? There's what we call, so for example, if you take it along the line of sexuality education, because there are pedophiles and all kinds of sexual issues going online, right? There is what we call age-appropriate sexuality education. There's a level of communication age-appropriate that parents should have at different ages. So you have like 5 tranches that children will go through, ages 18 months to 3 years, 3 to 5, 5 to 8, 8 to 12, and 12 to 18. There are different levels of communication that parents need to have at that age. The problem is we never have this communication. Now, as I'm talking, you'll be shocked that a lot of parents are not aware that if your child is less than 13, it should not be on Facebook. It's a Facebook regulation, right? So there's even the age limit, age restriction for who can use Facebook. But I've seen parents put their 8-year-old by themselves, and that's another extreme on Facebook, right? And so if your child is an underage and you bought smartphones, internet enabled for your child, without adequate information and without restrictions, so you've not put filters, filtering apps, on those devices, you just let go and you don't have the time your child submits his phone, you don't have a means of vetting, and there are so many softwares that you can use to actually monitor what your child does online, right? When you don't have all these things, right, it's as good as giving your child your car key and be praying that you shouldn't be involved in an accident, because it's so clear an accident is going to happen. So the problem is parents need to get enough knowledge to know, okay, my child wants to go on Facebook, is he up to 13? My child wants to watch this particular program, what is the age restriction on it? My child wants to do this, what's the age restriction on this? Then it's a good time to begin to have the conversation. Don't just say don't use it. You need to explain. You need to prepare your child for that digital space. But if a parent is a digital illiterate, how does that parent handle a child that is digital savvy, right? So your child wants to learn coding, you say, oh, coding belongs to the Antichrist, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to curtail the child's potential, you're going to stifle his ability to compete in the future. Because, interestingly, I mean, I was addressing a bunch of young people on the same subject, and I said to them that many of the games you guys are open to buy and play, the age ranges that create those games in South Korea are ages 8 to 12, thereabout, right? So I think parents need to get enough education to know that, yeah, it's not Facebook or what, social media is not bad. Social media actually takes on the shape of the user of the social media, right? So your child can become a professor at anything on the internet space, right? And your child can actually be a wreck as well. So it depends on, one, your family values, your family ideology, how you have instilled that values in your children, and the level of preparation for the use of social media and the digital space on your child.
Yeah. Okay, so, I mean, you've explained a couple of things now.
Yeah.
I'm talking about educating yourself as a parent before you can talk to your child.
Yeah.
But let's talk about specifics now.
Yeah.
The child is disturbing you in church. You just take your device, your tablet, and you give it to the child to play with, right? What are the specific fail-safe features that you can put on, say, a YouTube channel or on a browser that enables you to be able to leave the phone or the device with the child for a specific period of time?
For the first thing is, if your child is underage, don't put your child in the internet for starters. You can't give a child an internet-enabled device if it's underage and if you have not taught him the right thing, because he will encounter pornography whichever way. Now, there are filtering softwares like Covenant Eyes. You have the Pure Sight. You have the Nanny Manager. Then you have one that you can use to track actually what your child does online. I think that is my digital filter or something.
Yeah.
Right? These are softwares, the applications that are available that you can actually. Then you need to also be very intentional with the privacy setting of every media your child wants to get into. All of them have the settings. Unfortunately, we never read the terms and conditions, then we never study the settings, right? There are settings that can help you restrict to the barest minimum what your child can have access to, right? So we always say that you need to monitor your child. Then as well, if your child wants to use a laptop or wants to use a system and your child is underage, you need to put the system in a place, an open place, where you can actually monitor if your child has a phone. As long as that child is under you and the child is your child is underage, there are times of the day where they need to submit their phones as they go to bed, because we know. I was doing a study on pornography in Nigeria, right, last week. And interestingly, I discovered that there are over 50,000 porn uploads that was shot in Nigeria by Nigerians on the internet space. The highest consumer are young people between the ages of 7 and 16.
My goodness.
Yes. And this, I mean, I was shocked because the last time I did this research was 7 years ago. There were no Nigerian porn, but this one's a Nigerian porn shot by Nigerians, speaking Nigerian language, speaking pidgin by Nigerians on the internet space.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, finally, we're just rounding off now, but for the parent who is now taking that step, like baby steps now, to start moving the child along in this direction, just one thing that they need to do today.
Well, the first thing is understand the technology that drives whatever your child wants to go into. You need to be interested in whatever your child is interested in. If you're not interested in it, then get someone who can explain it to you. Once you do that, then you have clarity about the restrictions, about the terms, about the rules. There must be ground rules for whatever your child wants to do.
Yeah.
Now, the most important thing is, if you are friendly enough with your child, we say that you cannot be a child teacher without first of all becoming a student, right? Your child has a lot to teach you, so don't assume that you know much more than your child. Once you can establish that friendship and you can hold your child emotionally accountable, your child will tell you everything they see, and then that will be just enough, you know, to protect your child without necessarily also cutting them off from opportunities to learn.
Wow, thank you so much, Praise for
pleasure,
that. It's we could have talked about this for 30 minutes because I know that this is a burning issue right now.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, it's a digital generation, so we have no choice but to protect ourselves. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We hope that you join us again.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right, so that's all we can take on this topic. And but standing by with Mike is Ed Isaacs, for a musical performance.
All right, so Ed Isaacs, the jazz sensation Edwin Utere Isaacs is a flutist and a pianist. Now, his debut single, Celebration, was well received, and he has since followed up with Bloody Roll. He's also a director. He has a musical performance for us. Great to have you. How many instruments do you play?
Well, I play for now.
Yeah. Oh, for now, you need to.
Exactly.
You will learn more.
Of course.
So how many do you play now?
I play the piano, the flute, and the recorder. So that's 3 of them.
That's 3. Wow. Okay, I can't wait.
All
All right, let's see how you do it.
Okay.
Okay. Wow. 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 Now that is something. Whoa, how do you do this? I mean, I wanted to say that you sound like Yanni and all of that, but I've not seen him go double instrument and all of that.
That's very true. Yanni is like my mentor. Like,
Okay.
I grew up listening to him a lot, so
Okay.
he inspired most of my sounds.
You sound
And
alright.
there's a flutist in his band that I
Yeah.
fell in love with. So I mean, that's how I brought all the sounds
Okay,
together.
but then he more for his performances and all of that. I see him conducting and all that, but then you playing all and putting all those instruments. That's quite something.
Thank you so
Wow,
much.
wonderful, great guy,
Thank
great
you so
performance there. All right, so we'll go on a commercial break right now, but we will be right back. It's still Wake Up Nigeria.
Welcome back. So I'm sure you're wondering what this is. Now, this is Pringles, and it's that crunchy snack that comes in a perfect shape and bursting with flavors that are sure to satisfy everyone. It is ideal to take with tea or coffee during breakfast. It can also be packed for children to take to school. We have here brand manager Pringles to tell us more about this snack.
Hello.
How are you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
Same.
So, I was offering you Pringles earlier, and you said you are Pringles.
I am Pringles.
All right, so tell us why this snack is so special.
Basically, Pringles is an international American brand of potato and wheat-based chips. So unlike the regular potato chips, this has to do with potato and wheat base. So it's very healthy. The fiber from the wheat balances the starch from the potato. So it's very healthy. It can be consumed by old, young, and youth, adults alike.
So it's not just potato crisps.
It's not just
actually
potato.
comes with,
Yes, it's
with
an
wheat as
international
well.
American brand. First sold in 1967 by P&G, now owned by Kellogg's.
Right. Okay,
Yes.
so it's they also say that it's nutritious. Why do they say that?
Very nutritious because it comes in various varieties. The normal red can, everybody knows that's the original. Then we have the yellow can, that's paprika. We have light green, that's sour cream and onion. We have the deep green, that's cheese and onions. The black can, that's the black and hot and spicy. We have the cheese and onions. I think I've said that.
Yeah.
Salt and vinegar and barbecue sauce.
So, but you're wearing a red dress, so obviously
Yes.
you like the original.
Because Nigeria is familiar with the original.
Yeah, but so was there a specific reason why you brought the hot and spicy? Is it because we like pepper in Africa?
That's the word, pepper.
Yeah.
Everybody in Africa, precisely Nigeria, everybody likes something a little on the spicy side. So we included the hot and spicy and the barbecue sauce for those people that are a little edgy on pepper.
All right, so so where can I find Pringles if I wanted to buy?
Okay, Pringles can be found in your regular local market and about all supermarkets in Nigeria, basically, yes.
All right. So I just go out to the store, I just pick up Pringles.
Pick up a can.
And they come in like various sizes?
Yes, they do. Actually, they come in two sizes, the 40-gram size and the 165-gram size. So as the name implies, you go and grab a can. That's the word, grab a can. It comes in a uniquely tube-like, unlike the normal pillowcases, potato chips generally come in a pillowcase size, giving you more air and less snacks, less chips. But Pringles comes in a uniquely tube can size, giving you more chips and about no air actually. Yes, and they are very hygienically packed. That's a very strong difference, unlike just the regular snack. It's very hygienically packed, then uniquely stacked to avoid them, to minimize breakage, of course. So it can be, it can be taken over a period of time. It can be closed back and stored for kids. Kids get to crunch and probably keep and take over, and it's safe and healthy.
Yeah, so I mean that's where I was going, because once you started saying kids, that was actually my next question. So I mean, if I'm representing the parents, I'm a parent,
of course,
and I'm saying, is this safe for my kids? Is it healthy for my kids?
Very healthy. As I said earlier, it's more than just starch. When it's an international brand, when we say Pringles, we say health, we say hygiene, we say less cholesterol, we say nutrition. So it's very healthy for kids. We specifically made the 40-gram sizes for children so they can snack on it. They can go to parties, go to school lunch periods with this 40-gram size. Very healthy, absolutely healthy. They have variety of SKUs to pick as regards to their taste, of course.
Right. Okay, so the fun never stops. That's the tagline for
The
Pringles.
slogan.
So why the fun never stops?
Basically, as the name implies, the fun never stops. It's directed to fun-loving people, people that love to chew, not basically youth exactly, people that love to chew on the job. It's an activity snack. You can chew it while you walk, you can chew while you party, you can chew while you dance, you can store. So it's about it. So you grab a can and have fun, and you are having probably lunch, brunch, whatever, as you said, breakfast, whatever.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us this
Thank
morning. I'm
you,
sure
thank
that
you.
a lot of people are hearing and they're getting interested in this exciting product.
Okay.
Well, you heard it. The fun never stops with Pringles. All right. So now it might interest you that Pringles is giving away some of their products to our lucky viewers. Now, for more information on this, please go to our social media platforms. They're all at TVC Connect. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more details on how to participate. And we might just show up in your house with a box of Pringles. But for now, we want to check out what's happening in the kitchen with Mary and Miyonce.
Wow.
Well, you're welcome back to the kitchen. So far, so good. Chef Miyonce has been very busy. Take a look at
very busy.
the yam balls.
So you just what you do with the yam is once the yam is done,
Okay.
pick it up. Don't let this burn.
Okay.
So pick it up, mash it with margarine,
Okay.
and you could use butter also. But make sure your yam is tender. It's very soft. Because if it's not soft, you won't be able to mold it into balls. So as it's soft enough, you could mold it into balls and add a bit of butter, mash it up, you know, and yes. Then once you roll it, you have your yam balls.
You know,
So-
talking about tender,
Yes.
I was looking at this. When you said tender, I thought of pounded yam. Should it be like the same kind of tender, or it shouldn't be that?
Well, you could make
Because
it
it
like
seems almost
like pounded
the same,
yam.
yeah.
Yes, yes. The whole idea is when you cut it through, the outside is quite crunchy and the inside is very soft.
Okay.
You know, so that's the whole essence of yam balls. You don't need to add flour to it, but if you feel like you've overcooked your yam and it's not molding, you can add a bit of flour into it.
That's
And,
the cheat.
yes, that's the cheat.
Nice.
So
Let's take a
this-
look at that sauce. It looks
yes,
very attractive.
It does.
What
look
has gone
attractive.
into the sauce?
Okay, so I told you we're cooking our tomatoes and onions and
Yes,
habanero.
yes.
Well, they cooked down, and I added my sausages, and these are smoked. You can also see the smoked fish. Everything is coming together. I really like you to taste it.
It looks really yummy. It looks really yummy. You know,
It smells nice also.
I was
yeah?
actually, yeah, it smells very nice too. I was actually thinking of something. You don't have smoked sausages, you don't have
Yeah.
smoked fish, but you have smoked chicken, smoked beef or something.
Yeah.
Is it possible to replace it and it still
why
retain
not? Why
smoky?
not? Yes, you could replace it with smoked chicken.
Okay.
You can replace it with smoked beef.
Okay.
You know, that is like your pastrami.
Okay.
Yes. So yes, it still retains the name smoky egg sauce.
So for you to be
So-
smoky
so
egg sauce,
you just need
smoky
smoky
stuff.
ingredients, and you can add a bit of paprika because
Smoked
paprika
chicken.
gives your food the smokiness it needs.
Yeah, that's true.
So please do break the eggs for me.
Okay. How many eggs are we looking at?
All of it.
All of the eggs.
Let's see. So break the eggs like you break it at home.
I know. I use Ferk at home, so I'll just try to. Now, at what point do the eggs go in, and what are we using the
right
eggs
now?
for?
The eggs are coming into the egg sauce.
Okay.
This is it's the sauce is ready for you to accommodate the egg.
Okay.
So yes, it's ready to eat. So once you break the eggs,
Yeah.
they just go in. You whisk it a little, and they go in, and basically.
So the eggs are
everything-
actually going into this. You know, some
Yes.
people might think that it's going with
No,
the
no,
yam.
no. It's going. But we are actually when we were about to coat the yam.
Yeah.
We put a bit of. We first dip the yam balls into eggs. Then we coat it with breadcrumbs.
Okay.
Then we fry. Then
So the only thing left, because I noticed we have these three left.
Yes.
The only thing left now is for this to go into this.
Yes.
The breadcrumbs.
this to go into the egg wash and the breadcrumbs, and it's fried.
Why breadcrumbs, not flour?
Well, you want the crunch outside. Flour might not give you the required crunch it needs because it's quite smooth, you know, and flour is just like you're actually frying the yam itself. But you want to fry the outer coat. That is why you're using breadcrumbs. Okay.
Now you said the parsley will be for garnishing, right?
Yes, definitely for garnishing. Okay,
so not anywhere close.
But for the interesting thing is you could actually add the parsley into this. Parsley is the most harmless herb on earth.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, it won't do any harm to your food, but you know, I want it for garnishing instead of putting it in here.
Okay. All right. We're going to go on a break. We will definitely be back. It's still Wake Up Nigeria.